What's going on, guys? MariK here. Last week we covered all of the maps for the classic Battlefront 1 game, went over their layouts, and talked strategy for each of the various factions. This week we'll be talking about the maps in Battlefront 2, going over the changes to the maps that have come from the first game, discussing strategies for the new maps that are new to the second game, and going over various strategies for each faction on each map. Kashyyyk Beachhead plays very similar to the Kashyyyk docks level from the first game. There's only 4 command posts on this map, though, with the clones and the rebels having the defense gate and the beachhead, and the Empire and the droids having the landing zone and the rocks. The landing zone spawns tanks and speeders for the Empire and the droids, while the beachhead spawns tanks and speeders for the rebels and for the Republic. In the middle of the map is a little body of water that you can cross on foot or you can cross in one of the vehicles. There's also a set of small docks that connect the different land masses or connect over the water from one side of the beach to the other side. It's a decent vantage point for sniping, but otherwise it holds no strategic value on the map. There are health and ammunition droids, there are a couple turrets up there, but there's not really a whole lot else going on because it's not that desirable of a position on the map. Just like Kamino, Kashyyyk is one of the maps that I enjoy sniping on the most. I'll spawn at the defense gate, run up the side of the hill right here, and you've got a pretty good vantage point from on top of the gate. You can, if you choose to, you could go further up to this smaller part where the wooden gate is. However, I don't like doing that because then you're kind of trapped there, and your only way to get back to get ammo is to hope you can run back up it without falling. So it leaves you a little more vulnerable. It's a great vantage point for sniping either way. And this is, for the most part, this is how I always play this map. I also prefer to play as a sniper on this map because it is the only map outside of Fallujah where you can play as the 41st Battalion, which are the camo scout trooper looking clones. I don't really care so much for the pattern, but I love me some scout trooper, and there being a clone trooper that wears the same armor, that's kind of a win-win for me. I also can't stand the Fallujah map, whereas Kashyyyk I do enjoy playing on, whether as a sniper or as another infantry class. So it's really the only option for me to be able to use this skin. When you run out of ammo or get low on ammo, you just jump down, run back up the ramp, and you've got your health and ammo droids back here in the back to replenish. You do have the Wookiee allies on your side as well when playing as the clones or as the rebels. Though, like in the first game, they don't really do a whole lot. Granted, they can shred some, some enemy units, but, oh, the seawall has been breached. That's not the thing we want to see when playing on this map. That does allow them to gain access to the command post back here. It's usually not the biggest threat, though, and if you have somebody playing as the engineer, you can actually repair the wall. Also, as you just saw, be careful when sniping on this map because it may appear that you can actually hit a target and then you'll hit this invisible wall where the map is supposed to be, and it won't count as you actually getting a shot off, which is frustrating because you not only are wasting ammo, but you're giving up a good shot too if you have one lined up. It's also a very easy map to deal with droidecas because they spend most of the time just rolling, attempting to get across the map. And in this game, they are killed with 2 sniper shots instead of 3, which is really nice. I'm not sure why they made that change. Perhaps they were given stronger shields and given a little bit less health on the physical side, but noteworthy enough that you do want to take it into consideration when trying to snipe a droideca. Landing 2 shots is a lot easier than 3, and you can do that a lot quicker before they deploy and activate that shield. As you can see here, there are times that the AI will spawn as snipers on the docks, and they don't really do a whole lot because I don't know if it's because the AI just can't see. They'll also get in these turrets right here, and you can just headshot them. But it just seems like it's maybe a thing that's coded into the AI to take open turrets that are available. As far as why they spawn at the docks and just stand there instead of, actually sniping from there, that I can't tell you. Until the gate is repaired, you can also just snipe out the gate. Usually what I'll do is I'll just swap to the engineer class, and you can sit and take about, 20-30 seconds to repair the gate winch. Then you swap back to your sniper and you start sniping again. It's pretty straightforward. It's a really fun way to play this map. It is a little more interactive, I suppose, because once they destroy the gate, then you have to repair it. But it's still very tame compared to playing on, say, Camino, where both sides are just constantly sniping at each other. So it's not as exciting, but it's fun enough. If you like a little bit more of a casual sniping experience, then this is definitely the map to play on. If you don't enjoy sniping, you can always just how do you tell people to get in? Hey, get in. Usually you can just sit here and pick off enemy infantry with rockets. The tank droids themselves are very easy to deal with. They do like to try and take the Beachhead command post, which leaves you with only the gate command post. However, that's not really the worst thing, because while it does funnel all of your spawns to the gate and kind of prevents your allies from getting out and doing anything, it also gives you a very fair place to spawn at. It's a very safe spawn. There's not a lot of cases of enemies being able to spawn kill you or getting in the command post in general. The only thing you really have to worry about is them driving a tank up in there, because if you're not equipped for it, then it's a little bit more to deal with. You could also spawn at the beachhead and just head straight for the rocks to attempt to cut them off, or even just to steal this command post early on. It also has tanks that spawn here, but usually the tanks, at least the AI anyways, will not pay a whole lot of attention to the player in the tanks. So you can usually just sneak past them and they're not going to worry about you unless you, provoke them with shooting at them. Once you've taken the command post, you can head towards the landing zone and take that command post from them. They're usually pretty focused on conquering the beach and destroying the gate, so there's not a whole lot of enemy presence all the way back here. I'm sure once players actually see that the command post is being taken, they'll probably put in a little more effort than the AI would to stop you from taking it. But still definitely a good strategy to have, to just take all the command posts. It's certainly a lot simpler than attempting to whittle down their reinforcements. As you can see, we just took it, and we've got 15 seconds to claim victory, and meanwhile, they just don't have a foothold on the map anymore. When spawning as the Empire or the droids, you can take the engineer and just grab one of the tanks, either at the landing zone or at the rocks. I usually prefer to take the one at the rocks, as it's closer to the enemy command post. The faster you can prevent them from getting in these tanks, also, the better. So I like to try and drive over here as fast as possible, hail them with blaster bolts and missiles. The tanks are a lot more fragile than they are in the first game, so they're a lot easier to take out. Once you've captured the beachhead, then they're left with nothing but the defense gate, and it's so easy to funnel them with the tanks. However, I'm sure other players would be using the giant concussion turrets to their advantage, as well as just, using rockets to get rid of the tanks. So it's not going to be as easy as it seems to be here. You could also spawn at the landing zone as a sniper, make your way towards the docks, and go ahead and snipe from across the body of water. You've got a pretty good vantage point over here. You can see the beachhead fairly well, and if you go towards the second dock right here, there's a health and ammo droid, so you can kind of replenish your ammo reserves as you're sniping the enemy forces. For some reason, I don't know what it is about when they're running towards a vehicle that they really want to get in, you cannot snipe them. It's like the running animation somehow gives them like iframes, and oh god. Also make sure when you're shooting at the operator of a turret, it's really difficult to be able to see the headshot. So just be patient, time your shots, and you shouldn't have any trouble being able to hit them. Of course, for some reason, I just have the damnedest of time trying to hit anything that is running in this video. You can just go ahead and attempt to take an assault class or whatever your preferred class is up to the gate, but it's so hard to get into it that it just doesn't seem like that's a worthy strategy. Hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up, hold up. So that's going to be it for our strategic map overview of the Kashyyyk Beachhead. If you don't like sniping, you don't like playing as vehicles, this is going to be a really hard map for you to play. There's so many good vantage points to use a sniper. The vehicles are really powerful as always against infantry. And because of all those vehicles, because of all the snipers, the regular infantry classes just don't seem to have as much weight. You can take the beachhead well enough as long as the tanks are dealt with. However, then getting into the defense gate as a normal infantry class is going to be really difficult to do. You can, of course, use thermal detonators. You've got your trip mines. You've got rockets that you can shoot into the doorways as they funnel out. But you're also going to be dealing with waves of enemies, the snipers up above. So it's really just not in your best interest to take that route. Playing as the clones of the rebels, you can take an infantry class, take the rocks, attempt to take the landing zone as we did. But again, snipers are going to be pretty prevalent on this map. Tanks are going to shred you to pieces. It feels like those are the only two good options. But if that's just not the way you prefer to play, my best strategy is to take whatever class you're most comfortable with and just operate on the fly. Star Wars Battlefront Classic Collection comes out in just 2 weeks, so we hope to see you on the Battlefront.